Okay, if you look at this rail here, the way it goes back into the motor, it's a little bent. Can you see that? Just follow that line right there. And over here, this rail is bent this way a little bit. So both these rails bend this way a little bit. Now there's an under cross member here that I'm going to be cutting away. When I do, these two rails will basically only have the strength of themselves holding them, which will help me, because what I want to do is when I cut all this metal out, I'm going to put the bumper back on, because the bumper ties it between here and here, and then probably get in a place where I can put a come along and try to pull this front end over a little bit. But to do that, first thing I got to do is cut all this cross member away. And there's something here, some kind of sensor. It's got a screw, 10mm screw here, probably one down here. And over here, there's something here also. I'm gonna have to get all that stuff out of the way. And what I'm gonna wind up doing is cutting it like shaving. It'd be like shaving this part. Like if I take out everything that's connected from here straight back, and over there I should be able to move this old cross member away, and that's where the new cross member will wind up bolting up at. And you can see this is the new cross member, where that's going to go. That frame is going to go right in here on the new cross member. So that's my chore for now. I'll get those electronic pieces off of that. I was about to drain this thing, but I'm thinking I might be able to work around it. That's a tank for the steering windshield wiper fluid. I might still have to take it away. I was trying to avoid it because I didn't want to get into all of this. I might not have a choice. In fact, as I'm looking at it, maybe I could just pop these pins out and lift it without having to drain it. Oh, that would be nice. I'm going to study on that. Some of this, like this part here, is bent over a bolt that holds some kind of electrical component in to the frame. So where the crash pushed it all back. So I have to cut this. I'm gonna have to cut it off anyway, but I have to cut it, but cut around these electrical components so I don't wind up messing them up. That makes it a little bit more challenging, I guess you could say. If I could get my socket back in there, I could take that loose, and then eventually I'll cut this around this edge. But I think this is all going to have to come out a little bit at a time here. Oh, the joy! Of course, it gives us a chance to make sparks, right? Sometimes a big wrench like this works really good for bending metal out of your way. Get down in there and put it on top of the metal and just go after it. That was what was in there that I was trying to preserve. All right. So I'm going to wind up doing a lot of cutting here, and I'm probably going to wind up laying in the floor while I do it. And the floor is wet, needs to be cleaned up and dried up. But basically, if I could get this piece here out of the way, that would be a good place to start. And I want to cut this without cutting away or cutting into the bumper here. So this is going to take a little bit of, I'd call it careful cutting, creative cutting. And it's going to need to be cut all the way around here. All the way up under here. But that's my job now. I mean, I think I've about got things mostly out of the way. So if I can get this floor cleaned up, and I'm going to want to put on some long sleeves and some stuff on my legs and all that, because I'm going to be living in a world of sparks for the next little while. That's a good place to start. Oh, the joy. I might want a big hammer, or even a little hammer, some kind of hammer. I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that do this every day. In fact, I see a lot of you. I'm thinking of one in particular. He'll put up something every morning and take a picture of his coffee cup and his project for the day. I'm sure that's what y'all guys do all the time. See, I have to think about making sure I don't cut away anything that needs to not be cut off of here too. So I mean, that's kind of part of the fun of this.